What is up, everybody? It is your boy Fry. Thank you once again for tuning in. Man, it's been a while since I did another cloud rap style template, so I think it is time we do one. This one is more orientated around, Xavier Wulf and that kind of stuff, man. Chris Travis, I really grew up listening to a lot of this type of music, man. So it is pretty cool to get into one of these types of songs. I truly miss the days when, Blady was making a song with Xavier, Ice, man, Ice, come on, man, I've been listening to this stuff for a while, so, it's pretty cool to get into this style. In my opinion, it kind of sounds pretty upfront and distorted, so we're really going to be working on how to mangle our vocals to really make it sit on top of a beat. We're not too concentrated on all the, finite details, but more so creating a persona, creating the sense of, cloud rap. There's no real way to explain it, but, let's get straight into the video. You know what to do, smash that like button as well as subscribe for all the latest and greatest content. With that being said, I'm gonna hit the play button. Damn, I put it way too loud. Hold on.
And fuck a bitch, boy, and all you suckers too. I get no fuck about who you knew, you niggas lame as fuck.
Yeah, I'm on the phone with the money, switching lanes in my new whip. Say she love me, she just really love my new drip. Had to cut them off, they were never really worth it. Heart so cold, I don't think I just do this. Sword to his chest, he was acting too foolish. We were on the grind, he was sleeping, still snoozing. You don't work, boy, that's why you losing. Hop up in the whip with your girl, we just cruising.
Alrighty, so there you go. Wow, I had the speakers like cranked all the way up because I was just trying to get my voice right. Man, I felt the sub shake like real hard. But anyway, man, I really like this, song, Galactic Ranger, Xavier Wulf, Marcelo, from what I understand, is on the beat. And yeah, you got to listen to, my little take on it. So we'll be breaking down the main vocal, obviously the rap vocal first, and then we'll be breaking down the doubles which we have. Let me actually just name these. I got into this video so quickly. I was just hyped up to do it. We got our backing stuff. I was using an old template or whatever, but we'll just get rid of all of that. But yeah, we got our main vocal, we got our double, we've got our two ad-libs, or I guess not even our two ad-libs, we just got our backing left and right, which kind of kick in later on, towards the end of the track. And yeah, we got a few effects. So we'll break down the main vocal chain first. So the plugins I'm using today, Auto-Tune, SSL, a bit of Waves. For those using stock FL Studio stuff, man, Waves does not really have a sound to it per se, so you can really just put a Fruity compressor right there. It's not really going to make too much of a difference. De-esser, you could use the Fruity multiband for a de-esser, as well as the C1 comp has no sound, it's just a compressor, stock standard. So, those are kind of the main elements. EQ, we're using Fruity parametric, we don't really have to hide, not hide, we don't have to, hide behind the fancy EQs, basically what I'm trying to say. You can just EQ a vocal with any EQ. It's cloud rap, man. There's no rules to it. But yeah, so we'll get into it, in depth. So we start off with our auto-tune. We've got our retune speed set to 5, vibrato set to -12. These are my settings, for those who tune in every week. These are my settings. I enjoy using these. Find the auto-tune you like. Honestly, I was watching some new videos on, the latest auto-tune, and it is sounding pretty dope. Am I gonna upgrade? I don't know. If you have not purchased auto-tune, definitely buy the new auto-tune. But this one to me is amazing, simply because it just was the first auto-tune with this interface that had low latency, and that's why I'll forever use it. Call me an old head if you want, but I enjoy that auto-tune. So yeah, next thing we have, man, is the SSL native channel strip. Now you can use the DD channel, which is a free alternative to this. You can also use the Logic channel, which I think is not available for Mac, unfortunately, but definitely a good plugin to use just for EQing your vocal. I personally really like the SSL sound for getting the first bit of EQ going on your vocal. And we don't do too much EQ, as you can see. We're doing, minus 1.9 dB at 185. We don't do any kind of box cuts or anything like that. Usually I would add maybe a bit of a 200 hertz dip if I found the vocal too boxy. But then what I like to do as well is just add a little bit of treble. Not a lot, it is really a dangerous game to boost your mid-range treble area, because generally EQs don't like doing that to voices too much. It kind of adds a lot of artifact, so you don't really want to be doing that if it's not needed. But 1 or 2, 3 dB is not going to hurt too much. And then I do a nice little air boost, just a tiny air boost, just to get that SSL air sound. Another great frequency to try out is the 8K SSL Classic Air Boost, where you could do something like this and you just get this kind of sound you might hear on a few records, Dr. Dre style records and that kind of thing. But yeah, man, we also do a high pass at 90 Hz, and that's pretty much all we do on this. We're not using any compression. Might as well turn that off, but I'm just gonna leave it on because why not? Next thing I do is some our compressor. I've left these settings pretty much stock standard, but what I have done is change it to opto mode, and that means it's gonna act like a leveling amplifier. So if you just watch the vocal do its thing,
yeah, I'm on the phone with the money, switching lanes in my new whip. Say she love me, she just really love my new drip. Had to cut them off, they were never really worth it.
you know what I mean? It's really just gently tucking away on the vocal, but if we turn it to electro, it's gonna respond a lot more aggressively to what we do.
Yeah, I'm on the phone with the money, switching lanes.
And that's not really musical in my ear. You can use the electro mode for beats and that kind of thing, but opto compressor is just kind of gonna, kiss the vocal in a sense, and that's kind of what we want. And then we use quite a bit of gain right there just to, boost it back up, get the right level, because we are rapping to a fully mastered beat, so we want to make sure that, we're not going too crazy. And yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything really. We could just get rid of these plugins. I just used this because I needed to level the beat out, just so, it stayed in time, in level. So that's what we're doing. You can see the automation right there,
Heart so cold, I don't think I just do this. Sword to his chest.
You know what I mean? Just to make sure that the beat stays leveled. That's not really too important. But yeah, where was I? So, we've got the EQ going on. And yeah, we are using a real classic style of, classic waves. Technique is to really just boost the heck out of your treble and then use a de-esser to then tame it back. This is a classic sound. Now, this is definitely one of the few plugins. I know I did say you can use the multiband, and you can, but for some reason I figured this out with the de-esser, and it does work with the multiband, but ever so slightly. It will probably sound the same if you get the level right, but this just has a classic sound to it. I can't deny that. But yeah, we get rid of a lot of the low, mids, and below. So what you can do is you can actually adjust your EQ to this, and this is basically now a shelf EQ, and you can just dip away a lot of the bass again. And yeah, we do another roll off just to make sure that the vocal really sits in. If I turn off the EQ,
heart so cold, I don't think I just do this. Heart so cold, I don't think I just do this.
it kind of has that classic bladey sound to it. Classic bladey sound will probably be like even more crazy, but we won't go down that road today. So yeah, de-essing right there, man, at around 11,000, which is pretty high up. And then we do a bit more compression, and then just to use the compressor really to get a bit more gain, as you can see right there. We don't do too much compression.
Heart so cold, I don't think I just do this. Sword to his chest, he was acting too foolish. We were on the grind, he was sleeping, still snoozing. You don't work, boy, that's why you're losing. Hop up in the whip with your girl, we just cruising.
You know what I mean? Now the vocals it's kind of sitting in this pocket, and I really like that. So next thing, man, we got our two effects. What we have right here is our back on the convolver grind. Now this is just the default convolver preset, but what we do is, this is my classic technique, is I like to get rid of all the dry, leave the wet where it is, but then turn the wet onto full 50 depth or whatever you'd call this. Basically make it full stereo mode, and then we add a bit of a pre-delay, and then we just blend it in, So if I was to turn it up, we like in a church or something, I just love the way the convolver sounds on certain songs. It just worked, for cloud rap. Definitely try out the convolver. You got so many different presets to kind of give your vocal this sense of depth. Look at all these options, man. Try them all out on a weekend. So yeah, next thing we do is a bit of flangus. For those who know, I just like to add a bit of flangus to create this kind of tape sound to the vocal, smooth it out a little bit. And then yeah, lastly, I added this earlier on right before the video, but I felt that my vocal wasn't poking through enough. Sometimes when I speak especially, I might not pronounce certain words like with the on it, so I'm using this SPL. What you can also use is what is a free plugin? There's a plugin called the Flux. Just type bittersweet Flux bittersweet. There's a free transient designer, and all I want to do is push it to the right. Push that knob to the right, and you're gonna get the exact same sound. I just happen to own this plugin, so I push the attack up, and it just helps make the vocal a bit more spiky post all of the compression and that kind of thing. Helps kind of push the reverb out a little bit more. And yeah, you could, minus the sustain, you could try it out. Try out a transient designer. This is kind of what these plugins are made for, just spiking stuff or either reducing the spike on stuff. So yeah, next thing I do, man, L1 limiter, quite a bit aggressive than I normally do. We're doing about 2.8 dB of kind of limiting, just to make sure that the limiter sounds, or the vocal sounds really good. So yeah, that's really all we're doing now. We got a lot of different stuff here. I'm kind of used to this double sound. I've just kind of kept it. But EQ, we do, telephone effect. We do some Fruity Convolve, and we just get rid of this. Let's solo the double so you can actually hear what's going on. And what I'm using the doubler for in this track is actually to, here's a little editing trick for you. If you want to look fancy, you can do stuff like this. Whoops, whatever. But what I'm using the doubler for is to emphasize words. So as you can see right here, I'm actually doubling up on the main vocal. So if we get rid of the beat.
Cole, I don't think I just do this. Sword to his chest. Cole, I don't think I just do this. I don't think I just do this. Yeah.
You know what I mean? The double is just really there in the background. And yeah, we might as well. These are basic effects, man. Nothing too crazy. You can copy these if you'd like. Fruity limiter, because why not? Just to boost it. Ad-libs as well. Where are the ad-libs? I think these were the ad-libs right here. Yeah. We just really adding some gain, adding some flangers just to kind of divide it from the beat and the other vocals, and then adding a telephone effect. Really simple and sweet. Practice that, until you get it. And then we've got the background vocals right here. Dish dish. And as you can see,
you don't work, boy, that's why you're losing. Hop up in the whip with your girl, we just cruising.
And what I'm doing is a bit of distortion on there with both of the vocals now. So we send both of these vocals to this background bus. And we add a bit of chorus and a bit of reverb on there, and that just kind of creates this weird sound on top of the vocal.
You don't work, boy, that's why you're losing. Hop up in the whip with your girl, we just cruising. You don't work, boy, that's why you're losing. Hop up in the whip with your girl, we just cruising.
I like that. Alright, so what other things we have in this template as well, man, is we got the main vocal going to all these effects. Reverb, stock standard. I really like this reverb for vocals. Now what I have done is redesign the I don't know what it was, the punk delay or whatever, but I've just added a really thick reverb on here so the vocal has this kind of, depth to it. So let's mute the beat. Let's mute the main vocal itself so we can only hear the cloud delay.
Okay. Hello? In my new whip.
So we have that delay going on, but once we add the reverb, it's just crazy,
Lanes in my new whip. Say she love me, she just really love my new drip. Had to cut them off, they were never really worth it. Heart so cold, I don't think I just do this. Sword to his chest, he was acting too foolish. We were
Alright, I think that's pretty much all I can show you, man. Delays, usual stuff. Doubler, we did in the last video. I've just kept it the same because I just enjoy it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I always say. And then yeah, same old vocal distortion. And that's pretty much it, man. Other than I didn't EQ the beat because why would you want to change it too much? If it's a remix, you wouldn't really want to change the beat. And on the master, we don't have anything other than a limiter. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash that like button as well as subscribe. If you enjoy the sound of this template, go check out my web store and you can get yourself a copy of this template minus the vocals, obviously. And then you can just set up your microphone, hit that control left button, left click, my bad, and just record as you go along. Add your beats to this channel, record, do your thing, and you can make some cool music. It's a great hobby. If you want to make it in the industry, dedicate time to learning the craft and make, good content. So with that being said, I'll check you out in the next video. Peace out.